Good morning, friends, loved ones, and the troops overseas and at home. Pipes are doing better today. And you hear in the back my huskies outside who wants inside, that wants inside, that wants outside, that wants inside, that wants outside. Get a husky, they said. They're fun, they said. I love them dearly, though. And you can see that I have the badge of honor, the old husky hair. As I made a liar out of myself, and I came on a little bit early, like I said, just to beef up some content, And topic I wanted to touch on this morning, other than my amazing voice. Kidding. Attachments. I had this is an epiphany years ago. Many people come across that years and years ago, those that know me, I got into wood burning pretty heavily. It was one of those that, hey, I think I can do that. And it actually, took off rather well. But then it started to feel like a job because people wanted individual pieces, and then you find yourself making the same thing over and over and over again. And although you're getting better, it kind of loses its fun. The creativity part about it, for me anyway, got a little bit, it's like, meh, I don't really want to do this anymore. And I haven't done it in a while. I mean, I want to, but we were in a thrift store. It was my ex-wife and I, Denise, and I want to say it was about 6 years ago. We were in some thrift store, and we would periodically do the Thanksgiving weekend craft fair, pre-Christmas craft fair. And I whipped up a bunch of stuff real quick. And one of them was, since we're in a military town, these things sell very well, but it was an American eagle ripping through an American flag, that kind of thing. It was really cool. I found one in the thrift store for like $2. Oh, wow. And then you look around and you see, plates and all kinds of knickknacks and things and pieces and parts and whatever. And I noticed this when my grandfather passed away. I still have his jewelry box. I've got, 70-year-old cufflinks and all kinds of things. And it's all in a box. It's packed now because I don't have the room for it. But, and then it hit me again when my ex-wife passed, and I was helping my daughter go through all of her things, and there's boxes and boxes of stuff. She was a little bit of a hoarder, bless you. I mean, bless you, Denise, love you dearly, but wow. So you go through this stuff and you find a lot of personal things and knickknacks and there's junk and there's all sorts of crap. And it really hit home that I'm never going to bash attachment to things. If there's a gentleman, he used to go by the name of Eric Ho. He's on YouTube, and I really like a lot of his videos. And he went through the initiations with the monks and the whole nine yards. And now his name is Sri Akashna. I'm butchering it. I'm sorry. But Sri Akashna, I think that was his whole name, Master Sri Akashna. But anyway, I digress. He had a lot of videos. He does manifestation and stuff like that and spiritual videos. But he had a thing a while back that was about the yogi with the Lamborghini or something like that. And he's got a Lamborghini. He can afford a Lamborghini. He bought a Lamborghini. And one of the things about being on this planet is a lot of people, money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. Money is not the root of all evil. And I realized I tripped over that word back there. I caught it. Ha ha. It's not the root of all evil. If you have the money to buy a Lamborghini and you desire a Lamborghini, more power to you. Buy 3, buy 4. Buy the house in the hills. I myself, my dream would be a log cabin style home near a lake or a river, or, preferably where wolves are. But it puts into perspective all these things. You think about through your life, the stuff that you collect. Christmas Coke was a big thing at Christmas for us. Coke ornaments and Coke signs, and the whole kitchen was decked out in Coke. Now a great deal of it. And we even had like the Christmas village that lights up and whatever. That's in a box in the garage. All the Coke knickknacks. And when Julie decided she wanted to redecorate the house to make it more, more for her and Dylan and Ella, hey, by all means, make it yours, make it your own. It's not, you're not dissing, and I hate to use the word dissing because, but it's not dissing the memory of somebody. It's making something your own. But then you sit and think and go, all that stuff is sitting in boxes, gaining dust. Then you go to a thrift store, like estate sales. Somebody's entire life is in a thrift store on shelves. $1 for this, $5 for that, 3 cents for this, 3 cents for that. And that's their entire life. If you go quote, somebody's entire life is on those shelves. Somebody's entire life is in that, storage auction. Somebody's entire life is in a warehouse. And over time, and this is not a bad thing or a maudlin thing or anything, and over time, people's memories fade and they're forgotten. And that's just the cycle of life. And I truly believe that you don't die. You're not gone. You transform. It's energy, matter. You can't destroy matter or energy. You can destroy matter, but you can't destroy energy. And even then, you can't destroy matter. In a lot of ways, that's another physics rabbit hole to go down. But so, what was I trying to say? Ostensibly, what happens is, those memories fade. Things, they travel on without you. So the biggest thing about, becoming, manifesting wealth and having money and whatever really is not about the money. The money is not going to make you happy. And as I discussed in the other video, if I won, 200 million, I'd give 3/4 of it away. How much, I don't need $200 million, and I would give a lot of it away because of not the money itself made me happy. It's what you can do with it. The things you would do for the people that you love, knowing I've been through hard times, I've been through lean times. I've been through abundant times. I've been through health crises, the same thing everyone else in the world goes through. But you start thinking, what can I do with that money? Would a Lamborghini be cool? Yeah, I'd rather buy a Jeep, honestly, because the people don't realize the maintenance expenses and upkeep. You hit a speed bump and you have to go have the damn thing tuned up again. But cool factor, yeah, have a Lamborghini if you've got your world has a bunch of straight potholeless roads. But it's have that house, have that Lamborghini, and there's Nanook outside letting me know he's outside. Having those things is awesome. Having the house is awesome. Having, a watch collection, neat, cool. But if I could cement the future for like my childhood friends, my daughter, my granddaughter, like, here, go do something, live an extraordinary life. That's what you're here for. Because in the end, that attachment to things doesn't mean anything. You need to have the attachment to the people that you love. And after the dust settled, like I said, my grandfather, Denise, all the people that I've lost, you sit and you think and you go, this tangible thing in my hand that I have, it's a keepsake and a memory. Like there's a necklace that has a stone much like this one, and God, the fisheye lens really makes that shoulders look a little tiny. They're not. That stone. Denise was at the ocean was her thing. She loved the ocean, and Bodega Bay in California was we went there a lot. That's where they scattered her grandmother's ashes, her grandfather's ashes. That's where her Julia spread her ashes at the beach, and she bought a necklace similar to that, and it was hanging on a knob on the dresser. And for some reason, a couple of weeks ago, I actually found this one walking my dog. It's silver and it's aventurine, something like that. I don't remember the name of it, but it's silver in a thing. And I found it in the dirt, and it had been there a long time. I found that one, but it's similar to this one. And I'd seen it hanging on something. Then we came in and we packed everything up and, threw the trash away and boxed up things. And, you want certain mementos. And like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I couldn't get the necklace off my mind. I was like, wow, I think I know where it is. And told Julia, I go, if you don't mind, I'd really like to have it, because even though, we went different directions, we both did in our marriage, and it ended, but we were still super close friends. And it was just something I felt I needed. Little tangible things like that are the world. But then you sit back and you think, what kind of life did you have with these people? My grandfather knew I loved him. Denise knew I loved her. It's the time you spend with the people. It's the things you do with the money. It's the intentions you have in your own reality's creation of what this life is. And that's the most important thing. It's not how much stuff you can amass just because, I see some YouTube people and Instagram influencers, and it's nothing but a bullshit parade of, MTV Cribs, Look at my Lambo, look at my house, look at my money, money, waving stacks of money and doing all this really stupid, repugnant bullshit. I mean, to me, it is. If that's your thing, your lifestyle, hey, go for it. You got to have the Gucci this and the Jordans that. And hey, you know what? Knock yourself out. I'm not really judging you for it. Do it. But a lot of that superficial bullshit takes away from what's really important. Even if you have pets, like I said, I had Bear. Bear was, like a kid to me. Nanook is like a child to me. He's the sweetest, most loving animal in the world. And there are other people very close to me, like the relationship I'm in. I would much rather have the time spent with the people, knowing that I love them, how I feel about them, doing whatever I can to make their lives better, more enriched, than showering somebody with meaningless crap. Now, that doesn't mean that, if I won $200 million, that I wouldn't give most of it away, which I would, after taxes, whatever $200 million is, be able to, my dream, and I discussed this with Julia, is I'm from Las Vegas. I grew up there. I'm from many places. The longest I've ever lived anywhere is Las Vegas. So I went to junior high and high school and graduated, went in the military, came back, I got married. I did all this stuff. But that's always been, I could never live there again because it's too big, but that's kind of like home base for me. And the friends and people that I've lost, childhood friends and stuff, make it a little less shiny these days. But I would go back, rent out some ridiculous steakhouse back room, some nice place, and gather everybody I love together and just hand out envelopes. Here you go. Change your life, and life isn't all about money. That's true. It's not about things. It's not about money. It's about the enrichment that you give to others and that you receive from others. And on that note, it's not even about what you receive from others. Pure giving is for the sake of giving, not for how somebody's going to make you feel, not how, well, I did this, so you should do this. None of that. It's unconditional love giving of, I just want to do this for you. And I don't expect, no, wrong word. I don't expect one thing in return for it. You being happy is the reward. So it was just some things to think about today, that especially on Memorial Day, I've lost friends. There are people that I've worked with that are gone. There are one man that sticks out, was a very good friend of mine. He was the XO of Fallon Naval Air Station. Luther Hook, Commander Luther Hook. He was a Top Gun pilot, F-18 pilot, base XO. We were very close with his family because Denise worked with his wife, Wendy, at the school district. And then Luke and I became friends. And I think it was weird because I was enlisted. I wasn't an officer, but he was such an approachable, down-to-earth, nice guy. He had 4 daughters from a previous marriage. And he would fly to California to pick them up on the weekends in his own private plane. Well, on the way home one day, his plane crashed and lost him and his 4 daughters. And it's things like that that put into perspective, and it, not that we were like lifelong brothers. We were good friends, but it crushed me to the fact that how can somebody like that, be taken? Such an amazing guy. Went to War College, just the Naval Academy, just an amazing trajectory of life, and to not take his daughters with him, but they perished too. So it's always think about your impact on others. Always think about, what you can do for somebody else, because it doesn't matter. And I don't say this is a badge of honor. You get a lot of people, like around the holidays, you see a homeless guy in a McDonald's or whatever, and you buy him burgers or whatever, and you come over and here you go, or you're giving people money in public and you're filming it for YouTube and you're making a big fucking deal out of what you're doing. Look, I'm helping, and it's virtual signaling to a disgusting degree. A lot of times, I went through a drive-through and I saw a gentleman, in a Burger King. And this is not virtue signaling at all. This is just an example of he was tired. He looked tired. It was cold out. It was probably about 30 degrees. It snowed outside. They let him sit in and drink coffee, which is awesome. And when I went through the drive-thru, I was picking up some food and I bought 6 cheeseburgers and said, I don't want to make a big show of it. Don't make a big deal about it. Don't embarrass him. But could you just give this? I'm going to pay for this. Could you just give the bag to him? You know, and whatever impact that had, at least he had a little bit of food for a day or two. And it's stuff like that, you know. It's really sad, as I said before, that you really don't understand the reality of life. You don't understand the importance of things. You don't understand the basic until you've been through just ridiculous, you know, health crises and people dying and, you know, seeing horrific shit and just how brutally shitty people can be to each other. People are, I mean, not a general rule, but in this world, depending on the reality that you buy into, people are violent, people are selfish, people are, you know, self-serving, and it shows in a lot of things. And that kind of, you know, I think we're in an age where that's starting to dissipate and fade away in a lot of ways. And, you know, I'm not coming from some, you know, crystal wearing, you know, sage burning hippy dippy, you know, I don't come at it from the new age perspective. There's a lot of things in physics that back up simulated reality, and you create your own reality, and thoughts actually do this, and actually you emit more power from your heart center than you do your brain. I mean, it's all been proven, you know, through I'm trying to think of the word for it. There's a new E8 is the new about parallel dimensions and everything around us, and that's another rabbit hole, and I don't want to bore you with it. I just find it interesting, you know, which is somebody picked up and when they left string theory, because string theory was another that there's all these strings, you know, Michio Kaku, there are all these strings and cookie people, and he's hilarious to listen to because he tries to break it down for your average man, and you still sit there and go, you're super smart and I feel like an idiot. But string theory kind of didn't pan out to a lot of physicists because you had to keep coming up with new math to justify the idea. And the more ideas and the more math and the more stuff you threw at it, it made it like this chaotic mess of, it's an idea, but it really, let's walk away from this and think of something else. And so they came up with the E8 idea of dimensionality and all that stuff. But like I said, I don't want to go on down that rabbit hole because most of you would fall asleep or think I'm crazy, one of the two, which is fine. You can think I'm crazy all you want. I have no dog in that fight. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy that, you know, I went on a journey 5 or 6 years ago and went, you know, there's got to be more to life than this. There has to be. Wake up, work, come home, piddle around for a little bit, go to sleep. Wake up, go to the gym, work out, piddle, go to sleep. There has to be more. And there is. There's so much more out there than anything. But I just wanted to, you know, for the sake of adding a little more content, you know, to the channel, and we'll, as we go, camera will improve, sound will improve. I'm in the process of making a donation. If you'd like to donate, if you like what I'm doing, like what I'm saying, you know, I want to interact more with people on here. You know, I'll leave a link down in the description in the profile, but it's, you know, we'll get bigger, and I intend on having, you know, people on here as, you know, guests. I really want to steer away from the political stuff because, like I said before, I just don't care. I'm one guy. I'm one guy that owns some guns, you know, that believes in certain things, and it's not going to change the world. But the other things I talk about, yes, most certainly will change the world, you know. So I really appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate you. And let's see what we can build. I mean, it's really this has now become a labor of love and a hobby that I'm excited about, that I really want to explore in more detail. And I hope I wasn't too wordy and rambly for you. And I hope you have a great day, Memorial Day. You guys be safe out there.